Second nature for children is in the house. I hope everyone has had a great day, Mother Day. So definitely want to make sure I wish all the mothers happy Mother's Day, and hope that you receive whatever you were looking for. If you didn't, then we'll try it again next year. We'll try it again. So I got my boy, Bro D, absolutely with me tonight. And, we've been working on this does prayer work. And this thing is kind of tricky and kind of slippery, but we're going to kind of conclude it tonight. Every time it seems like we get ready to get off, seem like Bro D throw something in now and make us have to go to another day. But I think tonight, since we're going to go ahead on and jump on it, I think we can go ahead on and conclude it. I'm just going to go in for a couple of minutes and share some information. And so as you come into the room, family, and listen, I know we 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. We kind of stuck in our ways and it's kind of hard for us to change. But I hope that, you can go back and look at all the information that I started putting out. And as I began to bring Bro D and Burnett on and listen to this serious information, this serious family. And we got to wake up and begin to take heed when someone is working to bring knowledge, to bring knowledge. Second Nature for Children is a complete wellness program where we educate children about the mind, the body, and the soul, what's essential to their well-being, because a lot of us, people of color, we struggle in these three areas. If you pull up statistics, and some things you don't have to pull up statistics on, you could just really look around and use common sense. And I know a lot of times they say common sense ain't too common anymore. So I definitely understand that too as well. So we're gonna jump into this. So make sure, Facebook family, go over to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Make sure you share this information. A family coming in for YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, get your family member, get everybody, so we can push this program, push it through the algorithm, and let's make this thing happen. Make sure you hit those thumbs up and go back and look at the other videos that we have out and that the videos that I have out, and make sure that if a topic catch your attention, that you grab a hold to it and take time to sit down and listen. We so busy moving around, listening to it. Take time and sit down and listen and see how could Second Nature for Children and myself help better you in those three areas if you need help within those three areas. So we're going to get right to it. I want to make sure before we get going that we understand believe is to accept as true or real. In religion, to believe something means you don't know. You just have accepted it. I respect that, no problem. So let's make sure that we get three words, and I'm gonna go through this article very quickly tonight. We're gonna conclude this does prayer work tonight. Empirical is based on experiment or observation. Empirical, all right? Anecdotal. Anecdotal. I don't know if you ever heard that word, Bro D, but anecdotal is it's a short account of some interesting incident or single event, especially one in the life of a person.
Okay.
Keep that right there. Keep that right there.
I got you. Okay.
And we're gonna go with efficacy. Efficacy.
Mm-hmm.
The power to produce the effect wanted. Efficacy. The power. So let's make sure that we remember those three words as I go through this article right here, because I pulled this article up not because I believe what this guy is saying per se,
Mm-hmm.
but in my life, as I read it, and it was a time in my life in the early 2000 when I was the prayer director over 2,000 people. And so I can find some facts in this. Well, they did a research. See, this guy did a research, and I gave you his name. I want to make sure. That's why I always put the article so you can go pull it up, look at it. Dr. Phil Zuckerman, PhD. He did a research.
Right.
It's nothing that he just giving you his opinion on. He's a PhD, and he did a research. So I want to make sure that that's clear. But if anybody
Right.
say, well, what make his right? It doesn't make his right. He did a research. And on this
Right.
first part that we already covered, this is a fact. And I think it makes people and get people upset when I use the word fact. But when it say research constantly shows that prayer can have numerous benefits. For example, prayer can be a solid source, and I'm gonna stay right here, of self-soothing. That's a fact because I've known for many people to pray for something that not meaning that the prayer has come through for them, but it made them feel better because they prayed. I've experienced that. I've experienced that in my own life. So we move on. We're gonna go through this and they're gonna take long. So it said, I can hit it. So clearly people pray because it makes them feel better. We're gonna move on. I just stated that. Because we've had this article up, so I just want to make sure I go through it. Now, right here, when it comes to prayer as a form of asking something from a divine source and then getting it, there is no empirical, I gave you the definition, something that's based on experiment or observation. Praying to a divine source and then getting it, there is no empirical evidence that such mental massaging to an indivisible deity works. So for someone to say that they prayed to God and they got something, there is no evidence that the deity, their God, they can't prove it. It's not a fact because it's something that they can't prove. So if you tell me that you prayed for something and you got it and you know it was God, no, you don't. You got to settle down. You can believe. That's where belief come in. Remember, you just accept it because even though it happened, someone else life, it didn't happen. So it go both ways. It's not that it's a fact that it was done every time. There has been no evidence to show it. If someone has the evidence to show that every time somebody prayed to their deity, it worked, then bring the evidence. We don't even have to talk about it. Like, just bring the evidence because it tells you all stories of answered prayers are merely anecdotal and nothing more. I just gave you the definition of anecdotal and nothing more. So we're gonna move on so I can let you get in. Here we go again. There's a scientific study. Now, this prayer been going on for 150 years where they've been trying to pray for something and what they prayed for to just make it happen. And it shows right here, here's another research and another study that you can pull up that this guy, Galton, he wondered about the fact that, now I'm just gonna break it down, that the people was praying for the British royal family and they received more prayers on behalf, and they was every Sunday, everybody had to pray for the royal family of Great Britain. Then it says, shouldn't they then be of better health and live longer than average British citizens who did not receive such prayers? And then it comes right here and it lets you know that, of course, he found that the royal family did not, on average, live longer or enjoy better health than anyone else, despite all the prayers on their behalf. Just wanted to show you that. They were praying for that royal family, and they let you know they still didn't live no better life financially, but for as health and wellness and for their well-being, they didn't live no better life than anyone else in Great Britain. So here we got where they took some money and they did a study. Okay, then we're gonna move it on up. The researchers randomly divided over 1,800 coronary bypass. So they got 1,800 bypass people who was getting ready to have surgery from 6 different hospitals, and they divided them into 3 groups. The first group had Christians praying for them. Christians prayed for that selected heart patient would have a successful surgery. This what they prayed, that they would have a successful surgery with and surgery with a quick, healthy recovery and no complications. And the patients in this group were told that people might or might not be praying for them. Christians was praying for them. The second group of heart patients was not prayed for, but they were also told that they might or might not be prayed for. This is a study, this is a research they did. He's not giving you their opinion. This is a research they did. The third group was prayed for, and these patients were told that they were definitely being prayed for. The Christians, and they was given the names, so we're gonna move it on. So we got the 3 different groups divided up. You got people praying for them. They doing a research on does prayer work if you asking for prayer. Here are the results. There was virtually no difference in the recovery trajectory of each group, with all 3 groups experiencing more or less the same rate of levels of complications. Watch this. The only minor differences that did arise actually worked against the prayers. It worked against them because 18% of the patients who had been prayed for suffered major complications, such as strokes or heart attacks, compared to only 13% of the patients who did not receive any prayers at all. The people who were prayed for got worse. So research. You could go find your own research and come back and put it to this one. Then here's another study that they did at Duke University. Same thing. In this 3-year experiment, nearly 750 heart patients in 9 different hospitals. Now, what they did, all slated for coronary surgery, were prayed for by a variety of religious people, including Christians, Muslims, Buddhism, and Jews. The results of this double-blind experiment was similarly conclusive. There were no significant differences in the recovery or health outcomes of those patients who were prayed for and those who were not. This is a study that they did. He's not giving his opinion. I'm not giving mine. I pulled up some sources to show you something, and we're gonna move on. In some, it tells you right here. Here we go once again. No empirical, scientifically rigorous evidence has ever been brought forth proving the power of prayer. Not one. Somebody gonna have to bring me some evidence that it's been proven. And it tells you right here, it say, and just think about it. If prayer produced the prayed for outcome, no prayers for mothers will ever die of breast cancer. Then it just goes on and let you know that people be praying for these things. What we got? 300 million people have died from smallpox in the 20th century alone. Clearly, all of their prayers and their parents' prayers and their children's prayers and their spouses' prayers did not have the desired healing effect. There is no evidence that praying to a deity works. If your prayer works, you can say, okay, well, that worked. But somewhere in your life, you prayed and it didn't work. Here's go right here where we're talking about the husband. And D, you brought this up by someone you know, but this husband right here, The doctors had gave him a 0 chance of recovery. Prayers are prayed, and then it tells you that the husband recovered. They call that antidote, anecdotal. That's what they call it. And they tell you right here that while these things do happen, meaning people do recover from the doctor saying that you may not recover, the studies show that what is far and away more common is that the husband dies. We're going to move on. We're going to move on from the brain in. I just want to finish this up. Despite all the evidence showing that prayer doesn't work in the way they're intended, prayer is still what most humans do when there's nothing left for them to do in dire, scary, or painful situations. Facts. And if it does provide them with even a modicule of comfort and hope during such time, so be it. I'm going to leave it right there. And I'm going to let you come in, D. And
All right.
I just want to I'll do it after you finish. Because it's so many different types of prayers. But I pulled up 20 different prayers, and we're going to do, and I'm going to make sure that I go over those 20 different prayers before we get out of here as we bringing this to a conclusion. Family, I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope that you have a prayer life, because one thing, if deep in the come with something different, one thing we do agree with, that you must have a relationship with your higher power or that which dwells within you. And I yield the floor, bro. D, you got anything you want to share?
Yeah. Some of that was accurate on that, but you have to keep in mind research. That's all it is research. That doesn't negate what God's work is, and whether God awards us with and grants us what we pray for. There is no research or study that can invalidate God's work, because it's been written. So I just want to point, this is September 22nd, and I sent it to you also. A stable September the 19th of 22. Stable, unchanged. I am grateful and thankful to God for my latest results. I attended online healing service September the 7th, and thankful to God to the latest result. It says, offered, I had an amazing peace for the next 12 days before the test. Thank God for these. Now, they had terminal cancer. Okay. It says, such peace was wonderful, wonderful gift. I am now starting my 4th year of being cancer-free. Isn't that great? Blessings to you. Now, these are real live testimonies, because basically research, all that is just science. You did a certain number of studies, which goes back to our segment from last week. For every research study, you got thousands and thousands of studies that trump that, because all it is research. They're just getting certain numbers to substantiate their argument. Okay. So this was November of 2021. It was the last thing I'd ever expect to hear. You have cancer. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect to become a victim to this horrible disease. And yet it happened. That was 6 years ago in 2015. And this invasive illness didn't want to let up. Initially, after enduring the harsh treatments of surgery and radiation in 2015, I hoped my uterine cancer was over. But then in 2018, 2 new tumors appeared, one to my stomach and one lung cancer, help of the doctors and nutrition. It says I kept from progression any further for a while. However, in the spring of 2020, my scan revealed that a total of 3 more tumors had attached themselves to my kidney, liver, and the other lung. A total of 5 tumors with positive attitude and determination to live. I accepted 7 treatments of chemo, ending with the results of 4.5 tumor now gone. The year 2021 brought forth another challenge. 4 new tumors in each lung, a total of 8 at this time, brother, were so. It was joy when I heard that Father Nigel Mumford was in town in October of 2021, for he blessed with the gift of healing hands. With great hopeful anticipation, I felt his trembling hands upon me as the Holy Spirit's anointing was passing through his hands to my body. It was then confirmed by 2 cancer doctors, October 11th, 2021, and November 18th of 2021, that the 8 tumors in the lungs had dissolved. I firmly believe in the power of Christ's healing, which was channeled through Father Nigel's loving hands. Praise God. That's Barbie M.
Let me ask you something. Let me jump in. Let me jump in, cuz
Go ahead.
You giving me okay.
Yeah.
Go back to that last sentence. What did he say? He what? That last sentence.
Father Nigel's loving hands. Praise God.
Now he say he what?
Heal.
No. The last thing you read when the man who was healed, he say, what was his last sentence that he said? He said he what? You just read it.
Let me pull it back up, because I got so many on here.
Right. So see, the thing is, we don't have to go, because it's plenty testimonies like that. That's why I gave you the word anecdotal. That's what that is. Because no one can prove. See, this is where we at. No one can prove that it was a deity, a divine source. My first word I came on with was, it's something that you have to believe. There is no evidence. See, you're not giving me no evidence. You're giving me stories that are called, and that's why I brought the word out, because anecdotal.
Okay. I got one for you. For every research, actually, that's not evidence. All that is somebody that done some research. So basically, I never said it was okay. Listen. We're gonna go back and forth. It was good. We had a great point. I never said that he's right or anything. Right.
No.
Right.
What he said is, no one has proven that it was a divine source.
Right. That's in his opinion, though. It's already been proven, though.
Okay, show me the proof.
Thousands of testimonies.
Show me the proof.
I've given you some examples, so we already know.
No.
What you're doing? The example I gave you last week. If we saw an accident, right?
Show me.
And you said it was a blue car that fled the scene.
Bro D, hold on. We're gonna interact. I want you to show me proof. See,
well, why would you need proof? We know it happened, because testimony will happen. This is live. This happened. So you can't say it didn't happen.
But we don't know that it was a divine source that did it.
So what was it, though? So the questioning God, because it's a slippery slope. Because when you say that, when we get these so-called experts, then the next thing they're going to say, well, there's no God. There's no proof that there's God.
Well, D, you have
to be real.
D, let's go back and forth. D, you have people who say that, D.
Right.
You're
but
right.
That's not true. That don't make it fact.
Because
that's just that. And they may not believe that.
Just like you saying,
which is like faith, right?
D, just like you saying that, D, it don't make it valid either, D, just because you're saying it. It's your belief.
Right. But I'm saying proof makes it factual.
You can't prove.
Proof is in the pudding.
The two scenarios that you just gave me about somebody being healed, you can't prove that that was a divine deity that healed them. I want you to slow down for a second. And I want you to get, you can't prove. See, when you start talking about a car and this, that, we said, no, that what happened, I just pulled up a word that I want you to go, you can research. Anecdotal, that's what happens. It happens in people's lives. That's why I didn't just pull the words up for people. I want you to understand what the word means, because the research that I brought up, I'm not saying that this guy is right for this and this guy is right for that. What I'm saying is, Bro D, is that there is no evidence. You can't prove God. That's why we got so many different beliefs. That's your belief. You can't prove God. That's your belief. That's why you have the.
So that would be a matter of opinion too, though.
Absolutely.
If somebody say you can't prove it, because you can't say definitive, because what you believe, that's fact. So we could go for days or months. Some people don't believe in God anyway.
But D, I just want you to hear what you keep saying. That's why I say, D, it's a belief. Yeah, I just want you to hear what you keep saying.
Right? It's a matter of opinion. I'm saying what's already been proven is a fact. That's not a belief.
What's been proven? What's been proven?
If the testimony, if it's already happened, if it's a miraculous miracle, unexplained by
do you know? Okay, D, do you know what a miracle? D, do you know what a miracle is? A miracle.
We covered that in last week. Remember?
No. D, a miracle is something that goes against the law of nature
and physics.
Okay. Ascribed for some people to say it's a God or a supernatural. Okay. That did the miracle. Are you with me? Get your dictionary. Okay. Ascribe means to think that did it. It doesn't mean that it's a fact that did it. Ascribe means to think that did it. It doesn't mean that the miracle was done by a God.
Who determines that, though?
What you mean, who determines it?
I'm saying what you just said. Who would determine? I mean, I'm saying,
I determined the word. I determined the word miracle from Webster, the dictionary, how it's defined, how we use it in the English language.
And who wrote Webster?
Oh, we can't even do that. The thing is, no. And the reason I say we can't do that, D, is because you can't prove that it was God. It's your belief, and I respect your belief, but you can't prove it just by saying it was God. You can't prove it.
Right. But I'm saying that just like it works both ways. Well, you can't prove it, or you can't prove it otherwise, right?
I keep saying that.
Right.
That's why I want you to listen. So I don't want you to get into your religious mode because they don't listen.
Right.
That's why I keep saying it goes both ways. They can't prove that it wasn't God, but you can't prove that it was God. It's your belief. That's why when you go back and listen to this, the first word I defined was belief. It's something that you just have to accept. Because just because you saying that it was God who did it, somebody else will say that's not God. It wasn't God. It just anecdotal. It just something that happened. It was an incident. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. So let me ask you this. So would you say anecdotal? How do you pronounce it?
Anecdotal.
Anecdotal. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead on.
Okay, so the hundreds and thousands, actually, well, in this length of time, it will be millions. Yeah. Would we say that all of those anecdotal incidences?
Absolutely. Because,
and how will we be able to confirm it? Because it works different ways.
That's why you can't drive it to one thing, because it works so many ways. You're making my point.
Well,
that's why you
actually. So you say one person, one man would determine that for every situation?
He ain't
because
determining
we did some research.
He ain't determining nothing. The thing that I'm telling
Okay.
you, that you're reading all these things that happen to people, I'm saying you can't prove none of them were God healing, is what I'm telling you. Let's move him out the way. I'm not even, let's move his research out the way and just say you
Right.
bringing me information. And I'm
Okay.
telling you that you can't prove that it's a divine source who healed them. Move Zuckerman out the way. I'm
Right.
telling you. Now you're getting into a religious mindset where they telling you, I know this. No, you don't know. No, you don't know.
Right.
It's your belief that God healed it.
Right.
Because you have no evidence, you have no proof, D, that it was God who did it. That's your belief. Put it like this right here. I've had things that happen in my life. Okay. I'm not an atheist, so I believe in a higher power. Okay.
Right.
Now watch this. I'm not gonna just tell nobody because that God did it. God did it. Okay, because that's my personal relationship with that who helped me. Because
Right.
I could be talking to an atheist and they could say, well, it ain't no God. Now I'm not finna go back and forth. I'm gonna stick with my belief that it was my God who helped me.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Because you wouldn't be able to say man.
I have no evidence. I have no evidence, D.
So would you say man helped you, like through some of the tough times?
I didn't say
that
man
could
helped
be
me.
Explained.
Listen,
no, I'm asking.
No, I said my personal relationship with
right.
Because I have a belief. I believe in a higher power. I just don't subscribe to everything in the Bible. But if I tell my belief to an atheist, now we'll be debating because he'll tell me, prove your God. I can't prove it, D. It's just my
because they
belief.
don't believe in a higher power.
That's what I'm saying. So
right.
That's what it caused the debate. That's what it caused.
Y'all could go on and on.
So I wouldn't debate him. I wouldn't debate him.
It would be senseless anyway.
Because it's personal. It's my belief. It's something that I have accepted. I can't prove it. It's just something that I've accepted. So all the incidents that you're reading, D, you can't prove it. And when you talk about a miracle gets down to, when it get down to the God part, to ascribe, D, that's to think. It's not to know. Go define it. So when you say, well,
that's why they say they believe. That's their personal belief.
Say what
like
now?
What you just said.
Okay.
That's why, because there's no article that you or I could pull up and discount anybody else's experience.
That's why I keep saying,
because they didn't have experienced the same thing.
That's why, like you
just said, it could be somebody that's atheist. So they don't believe, like you say, to a higher power.
It's our belief.
Some of them don't believe in a higher power.
It still don't mean that God did it. We can't prove it. It's just your
belief.
And
it don't mean he didn't either. Right.
Absolutely.
It can go either way.
Absolutely.
It can go either way. But you have some people that don't believe in the other way. What I'm saying. Because they don't believe in a higher power.
It's a personal relationship. Yeah. You can't prove, is what I'm telling you. And if you want to, because we ain't got the 3 minutes, this time can shut down us.
Oh, man. Yeah, you don't burn up all our time, man.
No, I didn't, because that's why I stopped you, so we can go back and forth. And when you go back and listen to it, you're going to see that Dre been agreeing with me, but he's been trying to get me to see. He been using believe. Yeah. He brought the words that deals with it. He been saying it go both. When you listen to it, it goes both ways. And I even came to tell you that I believe in a higher power too. But just because these miraculous things happen in my life, I can say that it was God, but I can't prove it. It's just that I believe it was God.
Right. All you can do is explain what happened to you, because it's your personal.
If I want to give my personal
right.
So that's what I'm trying to explain to you. The things you're telling me about these people, you can't prove.
Right.
No, you can't. They can't, you can't. That's why when I told you to go back and read that last sentence, and when you look at it, the man said, I believe, when he laid his hands on me.
Right.
It's his belief.
That's his experience.
And as you go, absolutely, it's personal. Because
absolutely.
Right. So
and each of us have one.
Absolutely.
Each of us have one.
You got 50 seconds, D. I'm gonna let you close
50
out.
seconds.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
I just this was a good one here and everything. And I just want to close out, say, there's so many miraculous miracles that happen around the world. Everybody's got their personal experiences, that they've had and everything. And I just want to say, that God is powerful, though. He's very powerful. My experiences, I've had quite a few, and he's came through for me each time with prayer. Every time, I can't speak for anybody else, but it's worked out for me.
Okay. Well, you know what, D?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna leave that right there.
Mm-hmm.
I give you the last word. I want to thank you so much, man, for your time.
Anytime.
And like I say, you're more than a believer because I see your work. And the problem that I have with the church is that they tell me they believe, but I don't see any work. So I want to thank you for your belief, no doubt about it. And first of all, I want to thank you for your work with Second Nature for Children. And you got a great heart, believe me. And if they and people who know you, they know you got a great heart. So I want to thank you. We're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna get out of here. I gave you the last word. I appreciate you. Much love to you. And I'll be hollering at you in a minute, my brother.
All right, brother. You be good.
Take care, dude.
All right, brother.
Love it, brother.